before. He would allow you to keep going back and voting.
Mm-hmm.
And I went one time because, listen, Red and I don't get along. I don't know why. Probably because of my political views and what I say, and he can't handle it.
Wow.
And then,
Everybody has their own thing. Yeah.
we have Teresa with her very large two faces.
Oh,
And so, so when he was doing something and he said something, I didn't even know who he was. I didn't know who Red was. And Jody said something like, Red don't like you. I go, who's fucking Red? And he goes, oh, he does shitty song every week. And then I found out that they have a poll. And I said, oh, well, let me fuck with Red. So I went in there and I must have voted. I spent a morning voting against the song. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And he's like, well, somebody went in here. That's
voted
me.
65 times.
Right. And then I went to Discord and I said, hey, polling's up for the Duchess. Please get in there and vote for Duchess. Here's the song. Vote for this song. Oh, did I stack the vote? I stacked it like firewood.
My song was better anyway.
I called my daughters.
Other people did vote.
I called my daughters and I said, hey, I want you, here's the link. Vote for this song. I did. I did everything I could, just so
He says the audacity.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for your support.
Damn straight. Like
Loyalty.
with that, listen. When it comes to that, I'm a full-fledged Democrat.
That's just what Louis said. You voted like a Democrat.
Yeah, I voted like a Democrat.
Vote early, vote often.
That's right. If I could have my mom's Twitter account, she's been dead for 8 years. I would have got her Twitter account and voted. Yeah, I would definitely have done that. So I don't know. I didn't listen to this week's show. Did they acquiesce to you and bow to your greatness?
Well, they did. They did indicate that I was the winner by a landslide. I knew some people had voted. I don't know what the numbers were. They didn't say.
See, they should tell you the numbers. They should tell you the numbers. I'm very proud of myself for that.
They're going to be like 35 votes, all from New Jersey.
That's not true because I'm sure, people that aren't in our Discord that went and voted, they weren't from New Jersey. No, yes. You know what I might do?
Thank you to everyone who voted. Mm-hmm.
I might do this because I'm that guy. Every time, I'm just going to go find out what song the guest has. I'm going to do the same thing every week. It'll be my goal for Red never to win another shitty song again, ever in the history of ever.
It's on the website. Usually it's the host and then the guest.
So. Okay. Yeah. Because
There you go.
Because I'm that petty Betty. I am that
petty Betty.
Petty
you
Betty
are
about
such
shit.
a petty Betty.
I am. And listen.
That's why we get along.
I got nothing to do and all day to do it. So I have no problem going in there and messing with shitty song of the week. You don't know how many Twitter accounts I have. More than 5. And so
really? How do you keep track
please.
of it? Please.
I still have whatchamacallit's liver. What was her name? The girl from Louisiana, Blunt Mommy. I still have Blunt Mommy's bloated dead liver as a Twitter account. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely.
I feel like you should have changed it to Devin. Poor Devin's liver.
Ah. Oh. I could make a Devin from Heaven Twitter account. Devin. I have no problem doing that.
You could play all the clips you've put together with him on it.
That's right. Absolutely, I could.
Homage. He would actually. I think he would love that. He would love the tribute.
So I will let you steer the bus. First topic. All right. So here's some of the topics we're going to address tonight. Israel killed the leader of Hamas and the Hezbollahs. And then the Iran is very pissed at the Jews because they're good at killing leaders.
Yes.
Has anybody seen Joe Biden? We're still on a watch for him.
Oh, we are.
Trans woman punches actual woman in the face. Actual woman quits. The mainstream media gets upset that Scamala is getting ridiculed. Meanwhile, they call Trump and J.D. Vance weird. The gaslighting, turd polishing, ball washing mainstream media is doing what they're doing with Scamala is ridiculous. They gave the 9/11 masterminds a plea deal. Foster mom sits on foster kid and kills him.
That's terrible.
And then
Don't say the phrase. Don't say it out loud.
I'm not going to say the phrase.
Okay. But
I have that
want to
video.
hear you say it.
So where do you want to go first?
You know what? I mean, it's all over Twitter. X is with the boxer. So let's do that.
Okay. All
Let's
right.
do that. I know you got thoughts.
There is a trans woman from Algeria. Last year, 2023, she wasn't allowed to box in the world championship because she still had too much testosterone. Apparently,
Correct.
she's allowed to go into the Olympics. A woman from she's in blue. Where was she from? Do you remember?
Italy.
Italy. She got in there. The fight lasted 47 seconds. She got punched in the face, and then she went and quit. Then, once they came to the center of the ring and they raised her hand as the winner, the girl from Italy just cried. Your thoughts?
So I did a little research on this because I'm like, there has to be a little more than man beats woman, which is kind of what everybody was saying. So, Gordon commented, said she quit because she's never been punched so hard, which is actually a quote from her, that she's never been hit so hard. So I looked at it. The boxer from Algeria, right? Algeria?
Yes.
Is technically a woman, but there's some
Beans and Franks, or
I don't think
hatchet
there's
woman?
beans and franks. No, I think
went for the whole
woman.
went for the whole hatchet.
No,
woman.
no, I think was born a woman, but I think has from what I looked at, not trans, born a woman, but has XY chromosomes. So it could be there's a little dangly. There might have been maybe a choice at birth, perhaps, or something. But she technically a woman, but with some trace of XY from the source that I looked at, and testosterone.
Okay.
And the boxing, where she was disqualified, because of her testosterone levels, which is a strange way to say all that.
Okay.
But they don't know what the Olympic Committee, how they tested, nor do they know what tests they use.
Mike says she has a shaft growing
Ew.
off her clit.
Yuck.
All right, hang on a second. So I have questions. 'Cause I'm a little stupid here. I forget.
Yeah.
So a woman is XX and a man is XY. Is that how that works?
Yeah. Yes.
Chat? Anyone? Anybody that has half a brain? I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, so you're telling me that she was actually born with a vagina. Is that true?
Yeah. From the resources that I looked at.
So she's like a hamster dite, right? Or what's it called? A hermaphrodite.
Well, maybe like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Could have been
She
both.
has like she has like a cock
She's
and
kind of mannish looking.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a wiener and stuff. I don't think there's that.
Well, that's a different story.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I saw the picture of
They're rough looking.
the Algerian fighter.
Yeah.
Looked like a dude.
Yeah.
Looked
Well, the
really,
Italian
really
boxer
like a
doesn't-
dude.
Doesn't look super femme either, but
Yeah, but at least she had tits. Like the Algerian boxer didn't have any tits. There was no tits. She's got to have some tits.
It was a very stern looking woman.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, depending on the profile, I think how you looked. If you looked fast, I don't think you could tell if it was a man or a woman. At least, certainly not in boxing gear.
All right, so
like,
it wasn't
all
really
suited up.
it wasn't really a dude that started replacement hormone therapy to become a woman. That's not what happened here.
I don't believe so. She was born a female. Now, again, this is also in a country where homosexuality is outlawed. Like, there's a lot of things. Like, so I don't know how much. I didn't do much more of a deep dive other than that.
Well, now I feel
into it.
stupid because I thought I thought
Took a
it
little
was
wind out, yeah.
a man who
A dude.
took replacement hormone therapy and then fought as a woman. Be that as it may, I think the woman's a pussy. In other words, I saw that punch in the face. It wasn't that bad. I mean, yeah,
Well,
she got tagged.
They also said because of the testosterone levels, the boxer from Algeria may have the tendency to be stronger. Like it may enhance them more, obviously testosterone. So, but if she has always had that, that could explain the difference. She's physically bigger too. I mean,
okay, but they fight within a weight class. In other words, they have to make weight. It's not like, okay. So I'm going to make a ruling. If she was born with a vagina and a cock and balls, she's a hermaphrodite. She's like in the Jamie Lee Curtis situation.
Yeah, I don't know if there's all that.
Little side note. I would love it if Jamie Lee Curtis did like a spread in Penthouse or something to go see what's going on down there below the waist. Just curious. It's more biological curiosity. Not that, whatever. I'm just saying.
Just like when you drive slowly past a wreck. Like, oh.
Yeah, what's going on
I want
here?
to see something, but I don't. But I do.
Yeah. Like if Jamie Lee
science,
Curtis
says Sparky. Science.
Yeah, if Jamie Lee Curtis had it and an OnlyFans, there you go. I would look for that. Yeah, for science, yes.
You would. For science.
Of course I would.
For research and science.
Research. Side note, my Pixie OnlyFans membership ran out.
Too bad. I'm sure you're sad about it.
Not really. I saw enough. That woman.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently, a lot of it was under wraps, so to speak. But it was not hidden. Like she didn't have it all put away and behind a paywall.
Oh well, that's a different place. But the OnlyFans for Pixie, and I know we're going on a tangent here. So Pixie is a podcaster who famously started the whole thing where she says, "My husband's fucking multiple fucking hookers." Multiple hookers. So she started an OnlyFans, and for $10, I said, "All right, for $10, I'll give you $10 to see what's cooking in there."
Yeah. And
she made some videos, and I'd never seen a woman work over a snatch like that. Talk about beating something up. I was like, wow. She was like angry.
Yeah, I was not happy. I saw that. I was like, oh, no.
Wow. How's that pleasurable? It's like actually taking a baseball bat and hitting yourself in the nads. All right, back to the...
it was not sexy.
The trans woman. So if she was born with a vagina, but she has testosterone... Yeah, Gordon says beating a beaver. Yes. Then I say, guess what? That's fine. I thought that she was born a man and then did hormone replacement therapy as she transitioned into a woman. Yeah. That I don't like. That I don't feel.
I kicked that sale right over for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, again.
A lot of people reacted very negative. Like it took off on... Yeah. Twitter has been on fire today. Or X,
I'll be honest with you. I saw the punch. I'm like, really? I've seen women punch harder than that. And yeah.
I don't want to get punched like that.
Well, you're not a fighter.
No.
I know, but they're fighters.
If I could, but
they're fighters. So I'll be honest with you. I think what this Italian woman did was I think she took a dive to make a point. And again, we could be all wet here. The Algerian could actually have been a dude that transferred. I don't know enough to know enough now. Yeah. I feel like I'm speaking out of school. I don't believe. Yeah, Muhammad Ali's daughter hit harder, Bud Vugger says.
She's a boxer. Yeah, she's a big bitch.
Oh, yeah. Ali's daughter? Absolutely. Yeah. What was the girl's name that was she was a MMA fighter.
Was that Gina? Oh, no.
No.
Gina Carano.
No, she was my God, she won for a long time, and then some tall blonde bitch beat her ass, and then that was it. She never won another fight again. But she was a badass for a while.
Taunted the crap out of her. What the fuck was her name?
That one tall blonde bitch took her to task.
Ronda
Rousey. That's it. That's her name.
I was thinking
Ronda Rousey punches harder than that. There you go. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. So to be honest with you,
too.
I think that was just a performance. I really do. I really think that, you know what? if you're going to go in there, then get knocked the fuck out, or at least get in there and throw some punches. Hurt them at least before you go.
I was surprised. I mean, now again, this Algerian boxer is Amane, Imane. So it's kind of funny. It looks like Iman, but
a man.
She's telling us something. A man. I mean, don't get me wrong. She is very ripped. I mean, she's not dainty.
I didn't really see
she's
ripped. I just saw.
no, well,
no
like
tits.
as well, I've been watching like some of the swimmers too, like just the intense training. They got no boobs at all. That Katie Ledecky, she's
Okay.
flat.
I be honest with you, I really have not watched any of the Olympics. I'm not a big fan of the Summer Olympics. I don't know why that is.
I have not caught track and field, and I don't know if that's been on yet.
Right.
Because that is, it's. I know a lot of people are like, "Whoa, the Olympics," and all, but I think to watch such incredible athletes, like it's just amazing. And I personally just want the USA to beat everybody. So,
Of course.
I did watch Simone Biles again today with the floor routine. She is 32 years old, and she was like, "Oh, I'm getting up there in age." I'm like, "You're 32." They had one freeze frame of her. She was 12 feet, 11 and a half feet in the air. She jumped 11 and a half feet. I mean, on the bouncy pad, but I mean, still, that's
Springboard.
yeah. Well, no, the whole floor mat.
Oh, okay.
When she was doing her floor routine, she didn't do the like vaults. She was on the floor routine and flung herself almost 12 feet in the air.
That's
Flips
impressive.
and jumps, and it was very impressive.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just awesome to watch. Oh, Lisa says next week. Oh, next week will be all the
Track
I
and
love
field.
watching that. Yeah, those
Really?
they're amazing. I can't do it.
Oh,
I
can't
just
do
look
I
at
can't
it
do
like they're gazelles. It's just to watch people.
Yeah.
Just to see the performances. It's just amazing. Then they'll go back to like working at fucking ShopRite or where they have these folks
Wherever
who just
they
go
are.
back to their regular jobs, which is insane. I would sign that on every email, like your name, Olympian. Like I wouldn't care, like, thank you for completing the survey, Olympian, whatever.
Itzy Moda says, I can't jump 12 inches, let alone 12 feet. Yeah, I'm the same way. I can't jump 12. I can't jump. I'm the worst
I could do
white
it,
man.
but I'm
When I jump, even when I was a kid, we used to love to play basketball, after work. I was never really good at basketball, but I loved playing. And I would go in for a layup, and I'd try to jump. I swear to God, this high. My feet would come off the ground this high.
you're not a jumper.
I'm not a jumper.
I hate basketball because I can't. I have to like underthrow because I just can't.
I love
I'm too
playing.
short. I hate it.
I
have
love
to really
playing, but I
under
just
the net
was
to throw
terrible
it.
at it. Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible at playing. All right.
It's good at volleyball though.
Volleyball's. Did you
I
see
love
now that the ladies volleyball, they make them wear long pants now, where they used to wear those real
Oh.
tight shorts?
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Why else would you watch it?
Right, exactly.
Teeny little bathing suits, tops. Do they still wear those? Little teeny tops.
I don't know. What's really weird? Did you see the? I guess it was the synchronous swimming.
The synchronized swimming, the diving, right?
No, this was the synchronized, and they
swimming?
held this one girl in the air, and she
I
had
know.
a front wedgie, where I was like, "Well, that's unfortunate."
I was sent that image. I can't unsee that.
I was like, "Wow!"
It's like a string of dental floss.
Yeah, it's just a
I mean,
dental
it
floss.
barely covered. Like it was about a finger wide. It just.
I'll be honest with you. It looked
Who's
like
the photographer that got that?
It looked like a black person using dental floss. Is what it looked
Oh
like.
no!
It's what it looked like. If you're quite honest with you, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you
that
turn
was-
it
I mean,
sideways, but yes, it did.
it
It's
was,
not my fault. She had a chubby vagina.
Well, good for her. Maybe it helps her swim. It's like extra
That's your buoyancy.
extra fins or something.
It's like a life jacket.
Keeps her buoyant.
James says, "Talk about
I
lips
just
and
grossed
asshole."
myself out.
Absolutely. You know what cracks me? If we can change the subject, if
Yeah,
that's
let's.
okay. Here we go. Over in Iran, they got a new president, and because the old president took a helicopter ride like Kobe Bryant, and it crashed,
Wah, wah.
and they all died. Yeah, it's hard to get sad for that.
No one's
Anyhow, so they have a new president, and all your terrorists went to go see the inauguration. And I'll tell you one thing about those Israelis. Say what you want about those Israelis. They're patient and they're sneaky because they killed the leader of Hamas. Did they use a rocket? No, they didn't. Did they use a sniper? No, they didn't. They planted a bomb in this safe house where all the Iranian Republican guards were there 2 months ago and waited for this guy to come in, go to the room. They found out he was in a room. They pushed a button and sent that guy to his 72 virgins. And I'm like, ha!
That's amazing.
Right.
You know, this guy's like, my bed.
Yeah, that's all he said. What was that? That's he didn't even get.
Did you hear something?
Yeah. Wait, what was that?
Was it like the old-fashioned bombs where there's like beep beep, like a red light's flashing? They're like, oh no.
It would be funny if something just shot something like just before it went off. It would have said, "Got you, motherfucker," and then before anything could happen, took
Like
out a
flag
bodyguard
shooting out
too,
of a gun. Yeah,
killed them.
That's good.
So then they also shot a rocket into Lebanon, into Beirut, Lebanon, and got two of the Hezbollah leaders. Matter of fact, the one guy was supposed to be part of the mastermind of the 1983 bombing of the that killed all those Marines in 1983, like over 240 Marines.
That was
good.
Horrific.
Now,
I remember that.
if you keep shooting rockets into a country, can you really get pissed if they take out a leader or two?
It's bound to happen. They just waited. They were very patient.
I would imagine that. How are you pissed? You're at war, right? In other words, you're sending. They knew all these people were in. Listen, they knew all these people were in this compound, right? Mm-hmm. They could have sent like 7 rockets, got them all. What they did was reached out and tagged one of them, and said, "You want to fuck around?
We're coming for you, one at a time.
Keep fucking around."
Yeah,
kind of like what Trump did when, they were going to pull out of Afghanistan, and Trump went to the leader and said, "Listen, I don't want any more Americans killed, because if one more American gets killed, I'll kill you." And the interpreter just sat there and looked at Trump, and Trump said, "Tell him what I said."
And the interpreter's like, "I'm going to get murdered. I don't
right."
want to.
So the interpreter said it, and he reached into his suit pocket, pulled out a picture of the guy's house, and slid it over to him, and then got up and walked out.
So fucking badass. I'm sorry. Like, he's
That's
not
right.
my favorite politician, but sometimes it's like, dang, that's good. That's a mic drop moment. He's like, "You decide."
That's right. Yeah.
I'm going for some tea. Anybody want some tea?
Right. So again, so they got those two. So now Iran's saying, "Well, you know what? We're going to come back at you." I don't know. Could this be? Because everybody's like, it's World War III.
It's not.
Well, I don't know. When do you know when World War III starts? I guess when you hear a big flash, and like the guy from Hamas, and you go, "What was that?" And then everything melts around you.
Yeah. Glass.
Right?
We won't know. We're in the epicenter. I mean, New York, Philly, D.C., we're glass. We're just
This is just
we're gonna be like,
big
hey, gone.
Right.
That
Just
shockwave's
vaporize.
just gonna vaporize us.
Right. That's not really how I want to go.
I'm not looking forward to it, but I know we're in such a proximity to tri-state.
Well, it's because we have weak leadership. Where's Joe Biden? Where is he?
He popped out today.
Did he?
Because he trotted out he got some people back.
Oh, that's right. He got that journalist back from Russia.
Yeah, because you know why? Because Russia's like, Donald Trump's coming back. Let's send them all home. That's what J.D. Vance said.
Well,
I know Trump's coming back, so he needs to stop talking.
I think that we need to stop this nonsense. And to be honest with you, I don't think Kamala's got the balls to do it. I know Joe Biden doesn't have the balls to do it. Trump does. Trump has the balls. I believe that he'll go in there and say, look, we got to stop all this killing. What are we doing here? The people that don't want that is the military-industrial complex. They don't want that. They're having a ball. Here's the thing. So the last time something happened, Iran says, we're gonna attack. So they sent like 200 drones and missiles, which cost about, I don't know, let's go crazy. Let's say it costs $5 million to send missiles and drones or whatever. We spent like $8 billion shooting down those $5 million worth of stuff.
Listen, we grew up playing Space Invaders and Defender. We're going to shoot those motherfuckers. I would love to have had that opportunity. Just
no,
shoot them
I get it.
Down. All y'all who are old enough to get my reference, you're welcome.
Here's the thing. We can't make things like we're using all these. We can't make them fast. We can make like 30 of these missiles that we can only make 30 of them in a month. We can't make a lot of them. We can't gear up to do all this stuff. And where's all this money coming from? We're not made out of money anymore. The United States isn't made out of money anymore.
No way. No.
So
we're not even. Yeah. It's just.
I think it's got to stop. And everybody, again, I got to listen to these fucking Palestinian apologists. I can't take it anymore. As far as I'm concerned, the people of Palestine are complicit because there was a guy who was in there. He was a reporter, and he walked around. He goes, if we stopped, or I forget what happened. Oh, I know, October 7th. Do you think that was a good idea? And all those Palestinians, oh, yes, that was great. Kill more Jews. They hate them.
Well, they're also, look, these folks, they only know, they're literally force-fed government news. They only know what they're told. So a lot of the ignorant, poor folks who have no access to anything, they don't even have food because the government's stealing all the aid from them. So they get nothing. They're sneaking over to go to Israel for fucking safety and food. Because Israel will feed them. Israel's like, come on over, we'll feed you. Just don't go back to fucking Palestine.
Yeah, the other thing is that,
fuck would you want to be there?
20% of Israel is Arab. They came over, and they're like, hey, we have no problem with you. It's fine. But this whole section of Palestinians that just want to kill all the Jews, and the same thing with the Palestinians. I don't know how many there are. Listen, the Palestinians have been problems. They've been thrown out of every country. Egypt, Jordan, Syria. Nobody wants them.
Like roaches.
Okay. I was thinking about something else.
Fleet. Oh.
But anyhow.
I know where you were going with that.
I know you do.
It just popped into my head.
I know you do. All right.
Well, I also have ancestry, so I've been called some of those names. So, well, more from Iran. So
I understand. Okay, that's right. I forgot. You're part of the problem.
I am part of the problem. I'm an American woman with an attitude. I do so well over there.
All right. I want to try something. There's a little what I would call a palate cleansers. We used to call it back in the day.
Okay.
So there's a sentence that we would say in this area, and I will say the sentence. Oh no! First, I want you to say the sentence. Do you remember what the sentence is?
I do. Hang on. I'll pull it up. Okay. You want me to say it now?
Yeah, please.
I'm going to the Wawa to get a hoagie and a water.
Okay. Now, I'm going to the Wawa to get a hoagie and a water. Now,
hoagie.
Wooder.
See, you're actually you're consciously correcting
yourself. I'm really trying to consciously stop saying water. All right. So here's some people from my area saying this sentence.
I'm walking home from Wawa and I got a hoagie, water, and a bagel.
Water
bagel.
And a bagel. I'm walking home from Wawa and I got a hoagie, water, and a bagel.
That's a fail.
I'm walking home from Wawa and I got a hoagie, water, and a bagel.
Fail.
I'm walking home from Wawa. I got a hoagie, a water, and a bagel.
Scotty, what's that say?
I'm walking home from Wawa and I got a hoagie, water, and a bagel.
There's
Water
a water.
and a bagel.
I'm walking home from Wawa and I got a hoagie, water, and a bagel.
Yeah, see, there's some of them, but it's definitely.
Well, the problem is they're reading it, so they're
Right.
conscious of it.
Yeah.
If they were just talking, it would be water.
It's hoagie, water,
Hoagie.
and a bagel.
It's the funny. I've heard people on social, whatever I was watching, call them said a bagel, and I'm like, are you trolling me?
Right.
Did you like legit like? And I'm thinking to myself, are they somewhere where they just don't sell bagels and it's what they just think it's called, or they're just being stupid, or just for a joke? Like, I don't know why you'd pronounce them that way, but I can tell you that they don't taste. You can't eat them, not from around here,
Okay.
because they're just not good.
All right. So let me get into, I guess this is my main thing right now,
Uh-oh.
is the gaslighting and ball washing and turd polishing that the mainstream media is now doing for Kamala Harris. I have an ad for Kamala Harris, campaign ad.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time. Another trick is trying to sound black. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
And just remember, when voting this November, it is important to see what can be unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean, Joe Biden. You think the country went to over the past 4 years? You ain't seen nothing yet.
That is really eerily well done.
Right. It is.
That's so spooky.
All right. So I'm going to start with my rant. We
Go for it.
have to stop with this. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Donald Trump. Okay? He did a pretty good. I didn't like him in 2016. I didn't vote for him. 2020, I did. He won my vote because he wasn't an asshole. He had good policies. We didn't have any wars. He had the Abraham Accords. There was peace in the Middle East. There was none of this nonsense. He led from strength. He told China, and they unleashed a fucking virus that basically, so they could take and have mail-in voting and basically rig the 2020 election. Sorry, there's too much going on out there where I hear what's going on in Arizona as they actually go in and start looking at the 2020 election in Georgia, in Arizona, in Michigan. There's shenanigans that went on. And just because you're not going to, the mainstream media just happy walks past all this shit doesn't mean it's not happening. Which gets me to this. Mm-hmm. I am sick of the mainstream media one-sided for the Democratic Party. They look and focus in laser focus in on anything a Republican does. Meanwhile, a Republican just can basically do anything they want, and they will happy dance and make a fucking excuse and tell you why you're wrong and tell you why what you just saw with your own eyes and heard with your own ears is really what you heard and saw. And I've had it with them. And I have plenty of examples for that. So, Duchess, as I get ready for my second rant, am I wrong?
I have to say I don't disagree with you, especially about the media. Media, they've stopped hiding it. It's so. I mean, you always thought, the left leaning, but it's been so blatant, and even we'll pick the recent big event going on with the assassination attempt, where just the way the headlines, noise startles Trump at rally. I'm like, a bullet noise, like whizzing by his ear, that would startle me. Trump falls, like it's just the way they perceive it and then put it out there. It wasn't even close to being accurate. It's just and the problem is people catch everything on social media, so they just read a headline and that's the truth. That's what happens. Like with the boxer, like you see it, and if you don't deep dive into anything at this point, you have to educate yourself. And it's disgusting to watch the media blatantly pander. They're not even, they just work for them. And the more I've been listening to alternative sources and things like that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm starting to agree with people. And I was like, wow, they're a little conspiracy minded. Now I'm like, oh God, I'm over that way a little bit more. I'm like one step closer. I'm like, shit. But it's just such weird shit happening that's not being reported. I just don't understand it. I can't wrap my brain around it. And it's like if you're waiting for the regular media to talk about it or discuss it, or even have a forum where a discussion could be had, not just going in and attacking one side and nothing else, that would be wonderful. But I don't see how anybody could even have a discussion.
Nitsimoto over on Rumble says, when you start asking questions, you start seeing what the media refuses to cover. All right, so let's go to the.
Send me a few links. I don't disagree.
Let's start talking about the Trump assassination. All right, now they don't know how the shooter got there. And again, you have the FBI and the Secret Service doing their own investigation. What? Are we out of our minds here? And we're like, it's okay. And Congress is over there because all they want is a sound bite for their reelection to campaign off of. But nothing's being done. Nothing is being done. Now, I understand a little bit of incompetence, but there was so much incompetence and so much going on here.
Nobody did their job. Nobody.
Okay. So then if it's that much, it can't be that much gross incompetence. So that tells me that this was an inside job. They didn't want Trump. Look, they didn't want him to run. He started to run. They went after him with lawfare. That didn't work. And people had been saying for a while that they're going to try to kill him. The problem was they missed. Now, I have a scene here, and again, it's a visual scene, but I can't help that. Here is a scene from behind Trump, and I'm going to stop it so you can see that you can actually see the shooter walking across the roof.
You can.
The roof. All right, I'm backing this up a little bit. There he is. There's the head. Now, where are these fucking snipers, and what are they looking at? Now, I know that the sniper saw something because they were really looking into their glass. There's guys that were on the roof that we could see in the front, not the ones that actually shot at this guy, because this guy saw those snipers, and he put the tree between him and them so they couldn't see him anymore. But as you watch this guy go across, there's his head. He's running across.
Yeah.
Nobody's stopping him. Nobody's stopping him. And there his head pops up again as he gets to the top of the roof.
It's insane. It's insane. I'm not Secret Service, but like,
How do you miss this?
You see a dude just bobbing around, and he doesn't look like he's Secret Service. He doesn't look like a sniper. They don't wander around. They stay in place. That's their job.
Right, look, there he is. Look how far he's standing up over the side of that roof. I could shoot him from here.
Yeah.
And there he is, and now he gets down in a prone position. How is this allowed to happen? To me, there's only one way. They actually allowed this guy to try to get a shot off of him. How was that building not in the secured perimeter? How was Secret Service not on top of that building? It's just too much. Too much. It's too much of a failure.
These are the same questions. I've been watching now Dan Bongino every day at 11 o'clock. He's on. And he literally spends, I guess, when he does his video podcast or whatever he's doing, because he's on several times. But he's at the point where he looks like he's having a stroke because he's like, "Who's watching?" Like he's saying the same thing, and like there's no answers. He's like, "This is not rocket science." I mean, it's important, but it's like the procedures are boom, boom. Like it's the same procedure every time. Like this is what you should do. Everybody has a job, and nobody did their job. Well, and the fact that the mad Rube Goldberg-esque of this thing is that I'm waving my hands so much. That out of everything that fucked up, and the fact that Trump is still fucking walking around without his melon popped off his body, I don't even know what to say.
Now, Nitsimoto says that Bongino won't dive deep enough into the issue. I don't know how much more he can do. So, okay. I go back to where now they're bringing everybody up to Congress. The FBI will not tell Congress who was the lead person on here, who was in charge, who was in the communications. Nobody's getting told, and not one fucking person has been fired over this. Not one.
I thought it was the Secret Service guy that was yelling back and forth with Hawley and Cruz, who didn't put up with his bullshit one bit.
No, that was the head of the FBI, Christopher Wray. Christopher Wray? Am I saying that right?
I think so.
Not 100%
I don't think
sure.
it was Christopher Wray. Either way, they're both disgusting. Yeah.
Mike says, if Duchess ever loses her arm in an accident, she'll never be able to talk.
I'll be mute. I don't know how I could talk without my hands.
Right. Budvugger says there is a Secret Service sniper who said under anonymity or whatever that word is.
Anemone?
That he thinks that they're going to try to kill Trump again. Duh.
Of course they are.
Of course they are.
Of course they are. Fucking bubble wrap.
So, again, here we are. It's a big dog and pony show. And, I mean, to be honest with you, I always said just get the internet involved. Just get a bunch of true crime podcasters on the job, and they'll have this thing figured out within a week. Those fucking people are insane.
No, we're still not getting all the details. I mean, even though there's people there and there's footage and things, they still have Kennedy classified. We're not going to get everything. There's no way.
Why would you?
There's no way. Why would they still have him classified?
Well, Mr. Decaf says that the attempt basically gave him the win. I'm not 100% sure because basically what happened was now that they got rid of him, now they got Kamala here. And we're having an issue with this right now, which I'm going to get into because as much as I hate the Secret Service and the FBI and all this nonsense and bullshit and all this happy walking and talking past all, everything that happened, the thing that gets me more mad than anything is fucking liberal white women. So here we go. We got white women for Kamala. Wait till you hear this. As I was watching this and getting ready for the show, I was spitting fire. Here we go.
Is here to help gentle parent us through this election.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am so honored to speak today. I am shaking to just be among such incredible company.
I'm like,
thank you. I'm I'm just so happy to be in front of so much incredible women. I'm shaking because of everybody here. And we're going to, again, we're white women. We're going to use our privilege. I can't
Vocal
with...
fry. I can't. Yeah.
I can't. It's not even the vocal fry. I just can't. With this
We
one.
are here because, as if you were here earlier, you've heard BIPOC women have tapped us in.
BIPOC women have tapped us in. Is this woman married? Because I'm telling you right now, if this was my wife, I'd be looking for a fucking sturdy beam, a rope, and a fucking chair.
You go boxing with her.
If either that or this bitch is one of them ones. It's, you know, she sounds like this, but at home, you know, she's in the bed. He's got a loaded gun to her head, and she's yelling, "Fuck me, N-word! Fuck me, N-word!" And that's the kind of woman that this woman is right here. This,
okay.
I can't. I can't with this. It's this fucking woke talk. We're going to use our privilege and we're going to listen.
Gentle parent.
Gentle parenting. The problem is you've been fucking gentle in parenting too long. We need to get the fucking broom back out again and start beating some motherfuckers. Had enough of this.
Sparky says her husband wears sandals with socks.
Yeah, she's either she doesn't have sex at all, or she's like, spit in my mouth. Dirty. I'm a dirty little whore. Fuck me, N-word. Fuck me, N-word.
Oh, all right. Let's just.
I'm just telling you.
Easy.
She's either one of those kinky bitches. Here we go.
As white women to step up, listen, and get involved this election season. This is a really important time, and we all need to use our voices and influence for the greater good. No matter who you are,
the greater good. We're going to use it for the greater good. Mike's going to have a ball clipping this fucking episode.
Yeah.
All influencers in some way. So tonight, I'm going to share some do's and don'ts for getting involved in politics online and navigating the toxicity that comes with it.
I want to punch her in the face. I really, really want to punch this woman right in the face. I do. I know. It's horrible. And you should never hit a woman. But I want to.
Unless you're a boxer.
No, not even boxer. Like a guy can't box a woman. It's a no-win situation. I know. But the fact is, now she's going to tell you how you can uplift everybody and how to be able to talk with people. She's going to give you a lesson now, and this is right from that. Not the DEI, but what's the other thing that they do where they take white people and try to make them apologize for being white? What is that called? God damn it! I can't think of it. Now we're doing boomer charades. It's where, remember, you used to come in and they would make you come in and they would give you a lecture on how white
privilege. Not
white privilege. It's something else where they come. That one guy in Canada, he was a gay guy and he was a liberal, and they beat up on him so bad he committed suicide. I digress. This lady has drank all the Kool-Aid, and matter of fact, they put a funnel up her ass and she got another gallon up there. Here we go.
And spoiler alert, as much as the toxicity can come from the outside, it can come from us too. So first, don't isolate yourself. We can do our best work when we're in community together like we are tonight, because the toxic feels smaller when we support each other. But don't make it about yourself.
No, don't make it about yourself. It's about the blacks. This is the most fucking racist shit I've ever heard in my entire life. We're going to be, since we're white and we have privilege, we're going to help the poor blacks and BIPOC and LGBTQ plus apostrophe, 2 fingers up my ass people. And we're going to show you how, because we're all in for Kamala Harris. Doesn't matter that she hasn't done anything. Doesn't matter that when she tried to run in 2020, she didn't get one fucking delegate and dropped out before there was even a fucking primary. None of that matters. Doesn't matter that she was put in charge of the border and she didn't do shit there. Doesn't matter that she was also put in charge of getting high-speed internet to the country, and not one motherfucker got high-speed internet under her watch. All she did was walk around and dodge responsibility. Whoop! Whoa, there's something. Whoop, there's some responsibility. But you know what she's not? She's not Donald Trump. She's not orange. She's not mean. And she doesn't have mean tweets. So we're going to put her in as president of this country so we can go down a socialist rabbit hole and lose this country. And you know what? It'll be too late. But here we go.
As white women,
vote
we need
blue
to
no
use
matter
our
who.
privilege to make positive changes. If you find yourself talking over or speaking for BIPOC individuals, or God forbid, correcting them.
Oh my God, God forbid I told a black person that they were wrong. What? Oh, that's
Her upspeak is, Dew mentioned it before, all of her sentences and like an upward pitch.
Ugh.
Their questions.
Ugh.
Like, oh, wow. Okay.
Can
Go
we?
ahead.
Can we please not correct a black person? You know what we're going to do next week? We're having a community outreach. We're going to every black person's house. We're changing all the batteries in the smoke detectors. Yes, we are. Yes, we can.
Take a beat. And instead, we can put our listening ears on.
Oh my God. Stop.
Oh, we're going to put our listening ears on.
It's like she's talking to 5-year-olds.
It's
She's on a
exactly like
Zoom
she's
with
talking to
grown
5-year-olds.
Women. They're grown women. They paid her, this dipshit, to come out and talk. And she's speaking to people like they are impaired.
This is the fucking...
I find this insulting.
This is the fucking people. This is the fucking cat ladies that J.D. Vance is talking about. This right here.
So do learn from and amplify the voices of those.
Do the learn. It's like do the hokey pokey and turn yourself around. Or why don't we do the locomotion? It's a brand new dance now. Come on, everybody. Do the learny.
Who have been historically marginalized and use the privilege you have in order to push for systemic change. As white people, we have a lot to learn and unlearn.
We have a lot to learn and unlearn. Like when I'm getting banged in the ass by my husband, I'll stop saying, fuck me, N-word, because
Mike,
maybe the
please grab
neighbors
all
will
of
hear.
these.
So do check your blind spots.
Duchess, do you know where your blind spots are?
No.
Do you need Ariel Foder to come over there and show you where your blind spots are?
I'd like to see her try.
Sparky's like, I'm driving. I'm about ready to hit a pole.
You are responsible for your algorithm, believe it or not.
You're responsible for your algorithm.
You know, it would have been great if everybody just shut off their cameras, like, or hung up, or terminated the call.
I'm telling you right now, as far as I'm concerned, this is what white women are good for. Get that mommy milkers out. Here we go. Squirt them out. Whee! Get some. Can't see anything,
that's
Bob. You
just
can't, oh, wait a minute. There's a nipple. I'm
disgusting.
sorry. There's a nipple. Whoops. We saw a nipple. God forbid.
Bye, YouTube.
I don't care. Fucking people.
2
Fucking
episodes.
privileged liberal white women. They, again, they're just coming over and they're just happy jumping over the fucking fence over there to sit there and try to make it where they are, oh, we're going to help. Meanwhile, if one of them moved in, if a black person or a BIPOC moved in the neighborhood, they'd be looking to sell their fucking house tomorrow. You know what this is? This is fucking hypocrisy. You know what? You want to get rid of your white privilege? Move the fuck into a city where it's all black people. Move in there with your kids and everything. Let's do some of that. Yeah. You fucking piece of shit hypocrites.
It's just a dipshit. That was just.
Did you see how many were there? Did you see how many were there all on the fucking Skype call or the Zoom call?
Too many.
Well, not to be outdone by the fucking white women. Now we have white men for Scamala.
And that happens at the same time as the myths around America that we grew up with, that we as men are expected to be protectors and providers are going.
Yes.
Why did that
You
stop?
fucking wiener. What do you think? What are you supposed to do? Oh, I'm sorry. I forget. Men give birth now. So
Right. With your
Whatever.
fucking man bun and your fucking bullshit. Your fucking
be a
half-ass.
protector.
Your half-ass fucking pork chop sideburns and your fucking stupid glasses.
wait. So he
Tell you
knows what a man is now.
Let me tell
So
you
now
something.
they're defined.
He took more loads to the face than that fucking Italian boxer. I'll tell you that right now.
Frankie says this guy sounds like a sandal and sock wearing freak.
He's absolutely the fucking
You're
man
not
bun.
Out into an economy that doesn't really allow for that, especially for working class folks. And sort of like compounding on that, masculinity as a trope has been co-opted by the MAGA right into something that feeds into and exacerbates the loneliness epidemic, as well as the mental health crisis that many face that end up leading to really destructive behaviors.
That's because bitches be fucking crazy. That's why. You can't fucking date them. If you walk up to them and you try to strike up a fucking conversation, the next thing you know, you're getting Me Too'd. The guys don't want to put up with this shit no more. It's not worth it. The 8 hours worth of 8 hours of bullshit ain't worth the fucking 8 minutes of pleasure. I can't make the whole fucking trip. That's why this is happening. That's why fucking real men don't give a shit anymore. That's why. And you know something? Soy boy faggot, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this right now.
Hate speech.
You'll never get your end wet from a fucking woman because they don't even like you. They say they like you, but they don't. You know what they want? They want the bad boy. They want the bad boy that's out there hunting and all that. That's what they want. They don't want you with your man boy big glasses and pussy fucking whatever beard that is. That's what they don't want. They want a real fucking man. One that can go out, provide, and protect. Not you, where you would run behind the woman. Pussy.
We aren't the only ones that are hurt by these things. Black and brown people, LGBTQIA plus people, especially trans women and indigenous people, and all sorts of other folks in our society who've been historically and often still today are marginalized and being hurt.
Oh, marginalized.
I hate that word.
Marginalized.
I like
Jesus.
the buzzwords. It's like you can play. It's like buzzword bingo, and that's a big one.
Yeah. Yeah, he hit them all. He hit them all in that little fucking statement. Same way with, we could use our white privilege to uplift the black. This is the most racist thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It's like, you know what? The black people can't help themselves. We whites should come over there and help them. You know how you can help them? Get out of their fucking way and allow them to be educated and work. And, you know where they don't need help? They don't need help in the NFL. They don't need help in the NBA. They don't need help in Major League Baseball. They don't need help anywhere like that. They're doing just fine. Just get the fuck out of their way and stop treating them like they're fucking window-licking retards. That's what you need to do. Meanwhile, Soy Boy over here is going to be, he's the one that's going to help because he's been marginalized. Because you know what he's afraid of? Masculinity. Because masculinity makes him look like a puss. Budvugger says, I bet he's been gaped. Yeah, by himself. I bet you this guy's got more fucking ass plugs than anybody I've ever, anal gaping plugs than anybody on earth.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I had a
ass
question,
gaped.
but I don't want to know. Okay, never mind.
It's where they take a plug and it looks like a spade, and they put grease on it and they just keep pushing it up their ass so they can open it up so they can accept a big black cock in their ass.
Demonized and marginalized even further. So
what? I can't take it. I've had it. I mean, again, this right now, the mainstream media has, they have got all behind Kamala, and they're making her like you can't touch her, you can't say anything about her. Nope. Meanwhile, anything Trump does, they are they're laser focused on that. Anything JD Vance does, they're laser focused on that.
So I'm going to springboard off of this a little bit. So with the white women for Kamala and then white men for Kamala. Now, let's say there's another Zoom call, white men for Trump. Is that cool? Or is that
Men for
racist?
Trump. Not white men, men for Trump.
I
Men
understand
for Trump.
that. They're tagging it specifically about race. But I'm saying if you had if you did that, white men for Trump, that would be, it's J6.
It's racist.
But there's a gentleman I follow on X. His name's Don Luker. He held, he participated in a Blacks Against Harris Zoom call, and apparently had over 72,000 attendees.
Blacks against her.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. You want to see
Over
some blacks against her?
72,000.
Here you go. You'll love this one. You know who Judge Joe Brown is?
Yes, I do.
He's a big Kamala fan.
But I gotta ask you about Kamala Harris.
I gotta
How
ask
you
you.
feel about her?
She's a piece of shit. I was in California. She lacked professional competence, and she worked on it by hiking up her hemline when she needed influence rather than researching. She's always tried to do the casting couch to get where she wants. Now, the problem is that'll get somebody to a certain level quickly, but you can't get past that level if you don't have competence and talent. So my thing about it is if I'm crude about it, in this city years ago, I used to represent a whole bunch of pimps and hoes, and I know a hoe when I see one. Oh. And I say this, I don't care, women, you do what you want to do if you want to have recreational sex, but when you do the casting couch or anything else for professional purposes to get paid or advance, you a hoe. And she's an old hoe. And the problem is what is she supposed to do? One of her sycophant slaves comes up and unwraps her in a carpet naked at Putin's feet, and he says, oh, yeah, I'm Julius Caesar. He said, no, ho, I got better stuff here already. Plus, I don't want you anyway, you old woman. Get on up, Or Xi Jinping, is he supposed to be impressed? She's doing word salad. Well, we're here today because China and the U.S. are here today, and that's why we have to agree on what we're doing here today. Like, fool, what did you just say? Did you say anything?
No, you didn't.
She's like Confucius. She just kind of repeats it.
Here,
like whatever you say, she repeats it back with more words.
Here's some word salad for you. This is
and
Kamala.
also, what else are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation?
All right, thank you. Well, let's start with this. Prices have gone up, and families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more. Wow. And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up. That's about having to stress and stretch limited resources. That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry. So it is something that we take very seriously, very seriously. And we know from the history of this issue in the United States that when you see these prices go up, it has a direct impact on the quality of life for all people in our country. So it's a big issue, and we take it seriously.
What in heaven's name are you talking about?
But there is also a point that is important to make on the Build Back Better framework.
Oh.
One, it is designed to make it less expensive for working people to live. It was
How was that?
It's
because
working
when they
for me.
did the Inflation Reduction Act, inflation went up to 9% Prices went up 20% and higher.
Yes.
Gases went up almost 70%. So tell me about how Build Back Better built back anything. You're a fucking liar, and you can't make a fucking complete sentence. And all you do is keep speaking until people are like, I'm done listening to this stupid cunt. And I can't take it anymore. Jesus Christ.
Specifically designed to bring down the costs of childcare and increase accessibility and availability. Designed to bring down the cost of elder care and make it available to all those working families that need that support and need that help. And Build Back Better is not going to cost anything. We're paying for it.
It's not going to cost anything. We're paying for it. How you paying for it?
Who's
your
paying
money.
for it?
We're paying for your money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hold on. We have another ad from Kamala Harris. Here we go.
Introducing the all-new Kia Kamala, the first car to go from 0 to nominee in 0 votes.
I really love Venn diagrams. You know, the circles, right? 3 usually.
The Kamala is affordable because it's made with cheap foreign labor that came here illegally.
And said we're not paying them nearly enough.
And while it looks small on the outside, the interior is as roomy as a big yellow school bus.
Who doesn't love a yellow school bus, right?
And best of all, the state-of-the-art GPS will take you everywhere except the southern border.
This whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
The Kia Kamala. Critics agree it's not a smart car.
That's the person that's running for president. That's the, we're going to have to go and bring our privilege and not mention anything. And God forbid we correct the BIPOC, LGBT, whatever. Not allowed to do that.
Fun.
All right. So then what happens is now the gaslighting begins because she can't run on a record. She was supposed to be in charge of the southern border. She didn't do shit. She did
They say
dick
she wasn't.
and bubblegum, and they're all out of bubblegum.
Yep.
So she avoided that like the plague. And now you get some guy who actually, I got to give the man credit. He tries. He's going to tell you that she did a great job. Listen to this nonsense.
Kamala Harris was not named border czar, but she was given a very important but discreet task. She was out.
She wasn't named border czar, but she was in charge of being a border czar. She wasn't named border czar, but she was supposed to stop the illegal immigration, or at least take away the,
trespassers.
Look over here. So what she did was she went down to 3 Central American countries, and she said, "Look, don't come." All right. And so 3, I don't know, it was El Salvador, Guatemala, and whatever, some other shithole country down there. And apparently those 3 stopped. All right. But what happened was all kinds of other people were coming in.
To try to work with our Central American countries to reduce those reasons that you properly explained that people leave those countries because of violence or political instability or economic destitution to come to the United States. She did exactly that. In fact, she organized over 50 American companies to invest $5 billion in 3 key Central American countries. And guess what happened? Over the first 2 years of the Biden administration, migration from those countries was cut by 50 to 60%. So Kamala Harris should run on her record of successfully reducing flows to the United States from those 3 countries.
His pants should catch on fire.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah, his pants should actually catch on fire. And the way that the mainstream media just bends, and they bring like Republicans on, and Republicans have had enough. And then you hear CNN, and I'll tell you what, and this lady, I'll tell you, she is as dumb as a fucking stump, because I've seen her get fucking owned by a lot of fucking Republicans. But they keep trotting her out there, and she keeps trying. You keep trying, honey. I know. You should listen. Here she is.
How does her changing her views on her policy justify having the Republican nominee questioning her race? Does that increase or decrease your party's chances of winning in November?
Ridiculous.
Well, Caitlin, you haven't had that conversation with Kamala Harris because she's been hiding out.
I want to have this conversation with you,
just
Senator.
like Joe Biden hid out before her. And my point is, When are you and the rest of the media going to demand that Kamala Harris come out and answer questions in an unscripted format about where she stands for this country, as opposed to continuing to focus on what Donald Trump said today? 4 years ago, Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. Could you imagine a more insulting comment? Joe Biden is presuming to judge the political views of one age.
He's making fantastic points, and there's a producer
We're not talking
yelling
to him anymore.
Yeah, and the producer's yelling in her ear, stop him, get him, stop him, stop, say something. Don't just sit there and let him make points and sense. We can't have that.
Let him make sense.
Stop letting him make sense.
This is CNN.
Of our fellow
We can't
citizens.
allow that.
Yeah, we can't have that. We're looking like fucking douchebags. Shut him the fuck up.
Based on their skin color. Did you ever ask Kamala Harris to condemn his remarks?
There are
Did you ever ask
33
him? Or ask her if that was
Senator,
racist?
this is a question. You're a Republican senator, so I want to ask you about the Republican
Did you ask Caitlin? Did you ask
nominee.
Kamala Harris? Caitlin, did you ask Kamala Harris why she's willing to serve as vice president for a man she essentially called racist and a segregationist? Have you or anyone else in the media asked Kamala Harris?
Point.
Oh, no.
But besides all that, can you just answer the question?
Yeah, besides making excellent points and using facts. There's fucking
And
things
truths,
that are truth and facts that are fucking kryptonite to us. You are
Can you just
fucking
answer
up
my
my
asshole
narrative.
question, please? Yeah. I'm not getting my bonus if you don't answer my question.
Right. I'm asking you as a Republican senator, do you feel like your Republican senator, or your Republican candidate for president is a piece of shit by actually calling Kamala Harris out for the shit that she hasn't done and the shit that she's actually doing? Do you think that's right?
Those questions, Caitlin.
Senator, trust me, I covered the Biden-Harris White House. We obviously have asked for her to come on, but my question is...
And what happened? What happened when you asked her to come on? Let me tell you something.
Tone, just...
And I'll tell you this right now. I'll get my fucking crystal ball out, and I'll just look into my crystal ball. And when she comes out, you'll fucking wash her balls like they've never been washed before. She'll be the best thing since sliced bread. She'll never get any hard questions. You won't ask her about her racism and her nonsense and her bullshit. You won't call her
Ball
on
wash
her...
her, too.
Yeah, you won't call her on her failures or what she has done and what she hasn't done. None of it.
For you about this, Donald Trump's pick for VP once questioned whether he was America's Hitler.
Had to throw that in there. Had to throw that in there.
All right, since you're not answering this one, how about Hitler? Yeah, that's always
All right,
good.
let's talk about
When
J.D.
in
Vance.
doubt.
Because all the white women are up in arms over this.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. And it's just a basic fact. You look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children.
Is that wrong? Did he say anything wrong?
Well, Buttigieg has kids.
He adopted some kids. Did you ever see the picture of him sitting there with the
With
fucking
his fake boob?
boobs
Yeah,
with the
boob
bottle
thing.
where he's breastfeeding his kid?
Stop.
it.
Paul did
Just
that
get
and
a
I've thrown him out of the house.
Just get a fucking bottle and give the kid a bottle like a fucking man sitting there with fucking boobs.
Do you want your baby to think he got milk from your tits?
Jesus
As a man.
Christ. This is the nonsense, and they just ball washing and ball washing and ball washing this. I just ridiculous.
Poor Bob says he's weird.
Yeah, again, the Republicans are weird,
Yep.
right? Not the guy with the boob thing on with the bottle sticking out so he can breastfeed his kid.
There's been great memes of
Right.
what the Republicans call weird, and it's like a grid of just all these weird moments of people from the Biden campaign, all the men who are women, and then the colored hair and the whole shebang. It's ridiculous.
I don't know what can you read what JM Synthetic says?
It says, Paul comes home with fake tits to feed the kiddos, and Duchess says, get the fuck out and don't come back. He better not come home with fake tits.
Right.
Hells no.
Everything, they want to talk about. He apparently fucked a couch, J.D. Vance. I don't know what that means. I really haven't even looked into it.
Like half our audience hasn't done that?
90%
Not
of the
saying which half, but just
90% of the Who's Right audience definitely did, I'm sure.
Not how many? 90?
90.
All of them.
You think so?
100. I'd say every damn one of them.
Okay. But you know who went to the border? J.D. Vance. Vance went to the border. Where's Kamala? She ain't anywhere near that fucking border, I'll tell you that.
They started their administration. Kamala Harris came into office making promises, and she kept those promises to open the American southern border. They stopped deportations on day one. They stopped construction of the border wall on day one. We see the border wall sitting here, ready to be completed behind us, and that can't happen because of Kamala Harris's administration. They reinstated catch and release, and they stopped remain in Mexico. So all of these asylum claimants who come to our border, they can now get released into our country because they're not forced to stay in Mexico while we adjudicate their asylum claims. And we have to remember that as terrible and idiotic as these policies were, they cause real human beings to suffer. A lot of you know my story, and I have been a little kid waiting at the bedside of his mother, angry that his mom took something that she shouldn't have taken, but praying to God, please, Jesus, let her wake up. And the unfortunate truth is because of the poison that Kamala Harris has let come into this country, there are a lot of those prayers that won't be answered. There are a lot of parents that won't wake up because when you take fentanyl, you don't wake up. It takes your life. So there are a lot of kids out there who have been deprived of second chances with their moms and dads. There are a lot of moms and dads out there who will never see their kids walk down the aisle because of what Kamala Harris has unleashed at this border.
Why don't they continue
I love
to do this?
that it's changed from the Biden to Kamala Harris.
It should.
Like it's now, because now they've just rolled it onto her.
Yeah.
And I think it's brilliant. I think it's Kamala Harris's border, Kamala Harris's problem,
That's
Kamala
why-
Harris's administration.
Right. That's why she will not take over the presidency. That's why whoever the fuck the 6'3" guy who's in the Biden suit, that's why they won't they won't allow Joe Biden to be dead or whatever so she can take over, because if she takes over, they're just going to hang this around her neck anyhow, which is what they're going to try to do. But not the mainstream media. They won't allow it.
I don't know. People don't like her. I don't think people are going to be voting.
But you can't say anything. You can't call her a name, or you can't, because she's black and she's a woman, and you can't call her a name because she's black and a woman. Well, guess what? I don't care. I don't care that she's black, and I don't care that she's a woman. I just care she's going to do a job.
Well, she
I don't know if I
sucks.
said this already.
I mean, that's her job, but
I don't know if we said this already. I've said this already, but this is it. We've got two choices. We've got a liver sandwich and a shit sandwich, and that's our two choices. I'm going to take the liver sandwich. I don't like liver, but I will choke that down because the other one is a shit sandwich, and I ain't eating shit. But not these fucking simps for Kamala. They don't give a shit. They just don't like the fucking white guy. They don't like the white guy because he's white. They don't like Trump. Listen, I think this was a poor choice by the Republicans to put him back in there. I think we could have had a candidate that we could have really talked about the issues.
He wouldn't
we could have
leave.
changed this around.
he wouldn't leave.
If he didn't win the primary, he wouldn't have had a choice. He couldn't get back in again. And again, Vivek Ramaswamy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Deep breath.
Deep breath.
Cleansing breath. Breathe it out.
Because, and here's a perfect example. Trump goes to this conference in Chicago led by the blacks.
It was black journalists, not the blacks, but it was a
The
black
black
journalists.
And he sits down there. Where's Kamala? Was Kamala there? I don't know why she wouldn't. They would have ball washed her
Live?
and tickled her taint.
Live on a set? No way.
Oh, they would have ball washed her, tickled her taint. They would have flicked her bean. They would have done all that stuff for her. They would never asked her a tough question. But this
Harris
is what they
Faulkner
asked Trump.
would've. Yeah.
It's not true.
Swinging.
You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys.
How about just district attorneys that happen to be black? I don't care if they're black. They're district attorneys. They're taking the law and twisting it up like a fucking soft pretzel and using it like the law has never been used before to put him in jail. And he can't say something about that? but they happen to be black. So what? So what? That's what I would have said. So what? They were a district attorney that were doing something that happened to be black. What? Because they're black, I can't say they're doing a horrible job or that it should be illegal? Nope.
You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking...
He had dinner with somebody, I forget who it was. I think it...
Joe Biden spoke at what's-his-face's eulogy.
Yeah.
Didn't he deliver the eulogy? Was it
Right, the Grand
Byrd?
Dragon of the KKK.
Yeah.
That senator. Right.
At dinner at Mar-a-Lago. Okay.
Right. He didn't even know the guy. The guy he knew was with him, and the guy he knew he went to dinner with, and there was another guy with him. He didn't know who he was, but, he went to dinner with the guy, and then he finds out he's a white supremacist. I can't remember who it was, but I digress.
Black supporters to vote for you. Why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
He wants to call her a cunt. He wants to call...
I know. He paused, and I was like, he's like running it through his head. Even he had a pause, like,
you
don't say
feckless cunt.
Don't say it.
Here we go.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of...
Nobody's done more for the blacks than Trump. Trump got them money for their colleges. Trump got them jobs. The blacks love Trump.
This country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. Done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was
Mr. President,
wrong.
I would love
I think
if you
it's
can
a
answer
very
the question
nasty
on your rhetoric
question.
and why you
I have
believe that
answered
black
the
voters
question.
should trust you with another
I
4
have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln.
Better.
And he freed the slaves. I'm just
The
almost
bestest
as good as
president ever.
Yeah.
I'm the best since.
The blacks love Trump. Nobody loves Trump more than the blacks.
My answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act.
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Yeah, I gotta say, you can't answer a question like that. It's like, is this your first pregnancy or something? Like, it's a weird. There's no good answer. So
Apparently
he's
my,
gonna have to just do it.
Apparently my iPad just shit the bed. So in other words, it lost connection. I don't know why, but that's okay because it was the last one we had to do. Except for the 2024 and 2024, which you're getting ready to do now. Oh, here they come. They're coming back.
It's coming back.
Again, they lay in wait. They invite this guy, and they just fucking attack and attack. They would never treat Kamala Harris like this. They would never talk to her like this. They would never bring up her record. They wouldn't do any of that shit. Yeah. They wouldn't do any of that shit.
They'd wash those balls before they put them in her mouth. So,
Mike, that's 1 hour and 33 minutes.
God damn it. You're welcome, everyone.
Look, I'm done. I'm done with the niceties, okay? They're trying to make it where, men can't be men anymore. We got to put our hair in a man bun, and we have to sit there and talk about how we can't be providers and protectors anymore. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just be a man. I know it's tough for you because you never were a man in your entire life. You were scared of men. You hated men. Men like that you avoided and you mocked privately. You would never mock them to their face. That's what you would do.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to 2024 and 2024. Here we go.
Ta-da! So I am catching up with Sir Josh.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Now,
And let me just tell you something. I'm looking at I have my Fitbit on, and I have 1,000 steps, 1,048 steps on my Fitbit. Look at me today.
I'm so proud of you.
Really? Because if I go to my phone that actually tracks my walking and not my hand movement, I have 137 steps.
Yeah.
I'm wearing this thing. I'll be catching you guys in no time.
We'll catch you in Vegas.
Yeah.
So Josh, he gave me a couple extra miles, but I'll hit that this weekend. Right now I'm at 1384 for my miles, and Josh is at 1430. So I'm about maybe almost 50 behind him if I'm mathing correctly, which I might not be, but we're much closer than we were. So I have a write-up, and it says, "Hi all, I know it's cliche, but I can't believe it's already August. I continue to limp along with my slowly recovering ankle. I managed to finish a pair of 10Ks, a 5K, and a 5-mile trail race while checking Nebraska off my list. To pass the miles, I listened to the Boomer Bunker versus drinking the Kool-Aid the rest of the nation seems to be drinking. Speaking of which, the birthplace of Kool-Aid was here in Hastings, Nebraska, where they have the first Kool-Aid man suit sealed in a plexiglass box like the Constitution. I'm sure it smells great. I made a quick stop at the world's largest marble museum in York. We all knew the president had lost his a while ago. Turns out they were here the whole time. Did anyone catch that Olympic opening ceremony? Oof. Well, in honor of that disaster, my last stop of the month had to be at the world's largest pair of blue overalls in Grand Island.
Were they mine?
Didn't
Sorry.
It says they didn't have an official size tag on them, but the display is 18 feet tall.
Oh, tall. Okay.
Not wide, tall.
Okay.
It says the Duchess continued to close the gap this month while crossing Kansas. Even with no official races under her belt and a trip to see a bunch of you crazy listeners, I think she's within 30 miles-ish. Must stops along her travels this month led her to Wilson, Kansas, featuring a giant egg. Yes, you heard right. A 22-foot tall, hand-painted Czechoslovakian egg. Not to be outdone by me eating Omaha steaks all month, the Duchess made a stop in Victoria, Kansas, at the grave of the man who gave us Angus beef. In 1873, George Grant imported 4 black Aberdeen Angus bulls from Scotland to Victoria. Bulls.
Okay.
The first Angus cattle in the U.S. Here's something completely odd that I never knew about Kansas while searching for these random landmarks. There are 25 mini statues of Liberty placed around the state in a 1950s program from the Boy Scouts of America. Anywho, since we're so close in miles, it makes sense that in August we both will cross into Colorado and march on in the same state for the first time in this adventure. Bring on the Rockies and the Coors Light. Signed, Josh.
All right, good.
Thank you,
That's
Josh.
fantastic. All right, we can do one of two things.
Yes.
I can let you talk about the lady that sat on her kid and killed him, the foster kid.
Okay.
While I go to the bathroom because I'm not going to make it that much longer.
All right.
Or we can end the show. So you pick it.
Well, let me talk a little bit about the poor boy since we've mentioned it.
Here we go. I'll be right back, everybody.
Okay. Oh, no, I'm on Spotlight.
Oh, yeah.
All righty. So the news story, I just spotted this morning when I was at the gym, and it made me so sad I wanted to talk about it. So a 10-year-old boy who authorities allege was killed by his foster mother had asked a neighbor to adopt him minutes before he was killed. The boy, identified as Dakota Levi Stevens, died on April 25th after a medical emergency in Liberty Township, Indiana. And 2 months after Dakota's death, the authorities issued an arrest warrant for his foster mother, on a charge of reckless homicide, and she was arrested on July 13th in Berrien County, Michigan. And she's currently in custody in Michigan on a fugitive of justice warrant. So court records indicate that the charges in Indiana are pending and do not list a plea, and it's not immediately clear if she's gotten an attorney. The police did state, that Dakota had bruising on his neck and chest. And this woman is just despicable. It was reported that she admitted to lying on top of him for 5 minutes before the boy stopped moving. The police reviewed the ring's home camera footage, and the woman was allegedly heard saying, "I was lying on top of him and he was acting bad." And about a half hour before the emergency vehicles came to his home, Dakota ran to a neighbor's house and asked her to adopt him. Stating that his parents would hit him in the face. And when the police arrived to bring the boy home, the neighbor reportedly told the police she didn't see any signs of injury on him. So it's a good thing that they sent him back home to die. NBC reported that Dakota's cause of death was determined to be mechanical asphyxia, so it was ruled a homicide. So this disgusting pig of foster care woman literally smothered this boy.
Does it say how much she weighs? I had the speakers on so I could hear while I was limping to the bathroom. Oh, I can actually think again. Holy mackerel. That was horrible.
I'm sorry. Not laughing at you, but I am a little bit.
Okay.
So
listen.
I don't know what her weight was, but I mean, he was a young boy, and the fact that she, I don't know how you, I don't know, face down, she smothered him. I mean, it was just the poor boy asphyxiated. So if she's a grown-ass, big-ass woman, and plopped herself down on top of him, probably knocking the wind out of him, and,
Well, what we need is that one woman to come over and teach her how to gentle parent instead of instead of beating the kid with a yardstick like we used to do back in the 60s and 70s. I laid on him until he stopped breathing, and his heart stopped. But you know what? Yeah. I think I taught him a lesson because he will not behave like that ever again.
Well, you know what? So people always go, foster care system doesn't always work.
No.
Doesn't always work. I mean, it works out for some people, but not all. I had no idea Simone Biles and her siblings were in foster care. Did you know that?
No, I had no idea.
I did not know that. And her
that's
grandparents
unbelievable.
adopted them. Yeah. And her grandparents adopted them.
Because I'll tell you what, for you to be that good at Olympics, you have to go, and they have to pay for that. So for a foster family to go and pay for all that, that's pretty good. Unless she was so good that they said, you know what, we'll take her as on a scholarship. And
well,
you don't have to pay.
The grandparents took her. The grandparents
okay.
got her. I think she was in a foster home, and then the grandparents adopted them. So they lived with the grandparents who encouraged the.
Yeah.
encouraged the gymnastics.
Didn't sit on her until she stopped breathing.
Didn't crush her, but
and die.
It makes me sad because there are so many kids who need assistance, and that are just have terrible home life situations. And what this kid literally fell through the cracks. I mean, he said they hit me in the face, and the police are like, "All right, you're going back home." There was no intervention. There was no wow. This
what
kid
did he
said
do?
Somebody.
What did he do?
The kid said they hurt him. That they would hit him in the face. He told
what
the
was
neighbor.
he doing? What was he doing that they had to hit him in the face? Yeah, parents just don't walk around and smack a kid for no fucking reason.
I know, but when I would spank my daughters, I wouldn't necessarily spank them in the face. Would you? Did you haul off and whack your daughters in the face?
I'm not going to lie. One time my older stepdaughter, when she was about 15, she said something. She walked by me and said, "What are you going to do?" and gave me one of these. What are you going to do? And she caught a back of hand on a cheekbone.
Okay, well, that's different. She wasn't 10.
Right.
And there's much difference between a 15-year-old being a shitbag, sassy, than a 10-year-old boy.
Right. And I pulled it, too. I pulled it. I mean, I didn't really give her the full.
Kept the eyes in her head.
Yeah.
My dad, he didn't backhand me. He popped me right. I was probably 16, and I completely mouthed off. I was mouthing off to my mother so bad, she called my father. Parents are divorced. We ended up living in the same apartment complex at one point. Real fun. So my dad was in like building 1. We were in building 4. And my mom called my father, and she did not like calling my father or speaking to my father, and called him and said, "You better come over here and get your daughter." So of course my dad comes over, and I'm mouthing off like just rapid fire back and forth, and my father just like hauled off and like smacked me in the face so hard it knocked me down, broke a blood vessel in my eye, and I think I was just stunned into silence. Like it was just.
Did you stop bad mouthing your mother?
I think my mother felt bad. Yeah. Well, at the moment, yeah, I was busy crying because I got smacked in the face. But
you know what you were taught? Consequences.
Yeah, taught not to hit my kids in the face. That's kind of.
Well, you were taught consequences. In other words, if you're, let me just say this: if your daughter talked to you the way that you talked to your mother at the age that they were, would you haul off and give her a shot across the chops?
I don't. I've had those opportunities. I did not smack her in the mouth.
Oh, okay.
I may have wrestled them down a bit and stood over her, yelling at her down like this, but make them more my level.
Right.
But I did not. I don't think I've popped them in the mouth. I don't.
Kids get away with way too much, with being disrespectful. And now listen, I don't know. How old was this kid again? 10?
10.
Yeah, sometimes they can be a little mouthy, those 10-year-olds.
No, they can be, but like, so deaf?
Well.
Did your dad lay on top of you?
No.
Or your mother lay on top of you? Well, that's my point. Like,
my father hit me with these big giant bear paw hands he had, and you didn't hear a smack, you heard a thud. It was like getting hit in the head with a fucking sack full of concrete. It hurt like hell.
Yeah.
All right. So again, I don't feel sorry for these kids. They're gentle parented.
Well, this boy was not gentle parented. He was murdered, and that's what
I understand.
I mean, it just, I don't know.
Again, we don't know what he was doing. We don't.
It doesn't matter. He's not a rape victim. He's not asking to die.
I understand that, but you don't. In other words, you tell the kid once, you tell him twice. How many times you got to tell a kid?
And then you kill him. Yeah, just fuck it. I
do
told him twice.
Do you think she actually meant to kill him? If you're going to kill somebody, why would you lay on top of him? That's a really dumb way to kill somebody.
It's disgusting.
I get it.
The fact that she was comfortable with making that as her decision of discipline is disturbing. Right? Like, would that be your first thing? Like, well, I've hit him twice. I'll just lay on top of him and crush him.
Well, no, because
you're a grown-ass woman, obviously big enough to crush this kid.
Yeah.
To asphyxiate him.
I get it.
So my guess is she wasn't small. She's
probably
not. A sturdy woman.
Yeah, I want to see the size of her.
Yeah, I'm going to have to Google her because I bet the mugshot is terrible.
It took EMS almost an hour to get the kid out of the crack of her ass.
Oh,
she was a big woman.
That's so fucking awful. Oh you're terrible.
All right, everybody.
Well, on that note, yay.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Disgusting.
We'll be back Sunday. Damn it, how do I turn this thing down again? Oh, that's right.
I don't know, but it's really loud.
I'm sorry. There we go. I'm learning. Don't sit on me. I'm learning. All right, we will be back Sunday night. I got some more things to do. I didn't get to get everything done that I was trying to do for the show here, but I got enough to get the show on the air. No echo.
No echo.
Lasted
Good
the whole
job.
time. Nice.
No curse.
All right. Yes. Well, no what?
No curse.
Okay. And you want to go? You want to go to Discord after this?
Discord.
All right.
I think we should.
All right. We're going to
Come visit
Discord.
us.
All right. Talk to you later, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Good night.